Okay, now to start the text, any questions or clarifications you have up to now, or it's all clear? Kshetra, Kshetrajna, all that whole thing. Okay. Then summing up this section, he says, Yavat sanjayate kinchet sattvam savarajangamam kshetra kshetrajna samyogat tadvidhi bhartarshabha. Yes, yavat sanjayate kinchet. Anything that comes into existence, anything that is manifested, whether it is stavara jangamam, mobile, immobile, living, non-living, all of them. He says, Kshetra Kshetrajna Samyogad is because of a combination of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Tad Vidhi Bharatarashabha. Understand this, he says. Now, if you really look at that statement, the combination of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. If you remember, what is Kshetra? Everything that you can objectify. Kshetra is not translated as a field, okay, but idam, yat idantaya jneyam. What is known as this, meaning what you can objectify, is called as Kshetram. Kshetrajna is you, the consciousness that objectifies it. Now tell me, can there really be a combination between Kshetra and Kshetrajna? What do you all think? In the light of all that we have studied up to now, what do you think? Can there really be a combination between Kshetra and Kshetrajna? Somebody is saying no. Sravoni and all are saying no. What about the others? What you say as Kshetram is nothing but a manifestation. And manifestation of what? Existence consciousness. This we have seen before. Therefore, really speaking, between Kshetrajna and Kshetra, there is no combination. So, any combination you think that is there is nothing but ajnana kritam, yet of ignorance. You take this book as an entity. But what is this book? We have seen n number of times, this is nothing but pure existence in this form, isn't it? We have seen that before. Book is nothing but paper. Book vanishes into the paper. An arrangement of paper is called book. But paper is nothing but a manifestation of wood pulp. Wood pulp is nothing but hydrocarbons, and so on and so forth, coming down to pure existence. But this book is born. That means what? Kshetra, Kshetrajna combination is nothing but content, pure existence, plus Nama Rupa, name and form. Book is a name given to a particular form of existence. Pen is a form given to a particular form of existence. Similarly, laptop, phone, this, that, anything you take. You, me. Even human beings, it looks, oh, Kshetra, Kshetrajna. But what is this body? Form of existence alone, no? Correct? This body is nothing but the product of all the food that you have eaten. लगता है कि थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही खा लिया. That's why if I ask How many of you want to lose weight? Every hand will go up. Every hand will go up. Even though sometimes when I look at, hey, what weight you want to lose? It looks like that. Food is all hydrocarbons anyway. Body is anything but hydrocarbons. Therefore, molecules, particles, final existence manifest in a form. But that this existence is conscious. Therefore, we think Kshetra, Kshetrajna combination. But existence and consciousness is one and the same thing. Because there is a mind here, the consciousness is also manifest. If there is no mind, it will be like the book. Consciousness will not be manifest. Only existence will be manifest. Therefore, any combination you talk about is out of pure ignorance. You think there is a combination. It's a combination of Satyam and Mithya. Can there really be a combination? That's like saying, this guy in the morning went to brush his teeth and have a shave, everything. And goes and tells his wife, please have an extra plate for breakfast today. Why? The guy in the mirror is also joining us. How can you have Satya Mithya combination? Really speaking, you cannot. But there are some mithyas which are functionally valid. Like most of you here are married, therefore functionally valid relationship. Doesn't matter, sometimes it looks dysfunctional. That's okay, part of the game. That's all part of the game. So it looks this separate entity. This separateness is purely what? Nama-rupa. If you recognize one consciousness, then all separateness is only name and form. And all names and forms have functions. They are in groups, therefore jati. Jati is not a caste. Jati means a group. They have certain qualities, gunas. They have certain function, kriyas. That's all that makes up the world. What is it all based on? Existence, consciousness. Finished. Itna hi baat hai. Therefore, everything that is there in the world is nothing but existence, consciousness, manifest in names and forms. Names and forms. That's what he is saying here. There is no real joining together or coming together of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. It only looks like that. The Kshetra is nothing but the manifestation of Kshetrajna itself. Not at the individual level, at the total level. Yeah. If you want to keep the functional differences into account, at the total level. But at consciousness, there is no individual and total. There is only one consciousness. We have seen that before. It's free from the hold of time, space, etc. Therefore, all there is one consciousness. Okay. That means what? See the corollary that follows from that. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyati avinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram. Now this consciousness itself is calling as parameshwaram. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu is the same in every bhutaha. Every form it is the same. Living, non-living, everything is the same. Consciousness is one and the same. He says, Vinashatsya avinashyantam. In all the perishables, vinashyantu. Itself not perishable. Names and forms will come and go. The forms will collapse. If the form collapses, the name disappears. But consciousness continues, existence continues. Why? Existence is not a form. The form is dependent on existence. Existence is independent of the form. Because existence can be in any form. It really speaking is formless. Why? It is not a finite entity. It is not conditioned by time and space. Because it is not conditioned by time and space, it is indestructible. Avinashi tu tam viddhi. Previously we have seen that. Yeah. Therefore, as the indestructible, I am available in the destructible. In this finite body, which is subject to old age and death. Yeah. Subject to old age and death. Yeah. Every birthday you celebrate is moving one step closer to the grave, isn't it? Closer to the cremation ground. And because of my students, my birthday celebrations go for 3-4 days at least. Yeah, it's subject to destruction. The consciousness does not have a birthday. Neither born nor dying. Yeah. It's the same. All births and deaths happen in the consciousness. But because we are so associated with this body, so identified with this body, we talk of death, birth and death as big problems. Birth also can be a big problem. Ask the mother who didn't want to have a child. You will understand what big problem it is. Yeah. Where is the problem? You are free from birth and death. Dying, you can say there is no death. And we are all dying only. No? As I said, every birthday is moving closer. And we celebrate it. Acha. No, it's good because so much karma over. Na? Acha hi. So much karma taken care of. गया हो गया. Swami, I'm not worried about death, but that old age suffering, take it as the exhaustion of karma. Karma gone. So much of negative karma is going. From a mosquito bite onwards, one negative, small bit of negative karma gone. Oh, major issue. Oh, great karma gone. Negative karma gone. अच्छा ही. Yeah. We do all these heroics of keeping some people alive, I mean, I have passed experimental drugs when I was in the ethical committee. So there is a chance of keeping the person alive for 6 months. What he couldn't achieve in 80 years, what is he going to do in another 6 months? Tell me, what if I couldn't do anything enough in 80 years, you think another 6 months I am going to do anything great? But I have accepted it, I have passed that. I said, no, let us try it out. Why? At least the guy can put all his papers in order, if nothing else. Make his will, make his nominations, all that. At least functionally you can. You do all these heroics until you speak to that old person and they will tell you, no more, please don't. I don't want to go to the hospital again. If anything happens to me, don't take me to the hospital. They themselves will tell you. You'll be surprised at the number of people I have spoken to like that. Yeah. Unless, of course, you are like that Swami Shivananda, that yoga teacher from Banaras. At 123 years, he is still doing yoga. He is still active. And he doesn't eat too much of fruits and milk and things like that as the yoga diet advises. Okay, he doesn't eat. These are all fancy foods. हम तो simple खाता है. All these fancy fruits and all I don't want. Yeah. Fancy food. Simple. दाल रोटी चावल खाएगा बस होता है. भंडारा जाएंगे तो थोड़ा पूरी खा लेगा. He is like that. Great life? I'm not too sure. Why? All his childhood friends are gone. All his relatives would have gone. His generation relatives are gone. Younger generation also, so many of them are gone. 40 years younger people are gone. Just imagine, the guy like him will have to nurse his own child here. Son is saying, Papa, मैं बूढ़ा हो गया हूँ, मैं चल नहीं सकता. What will his हालत be? I know the guy, okay? That's why I'm saying all this. The best thing is to understand there is neither birth nor death. Let the body drop when it has to drop, no issues. I am that consciousness free from everything. More you make that, more you are at home with that. That's freedom. Okay. Yeah. That's why he says, Ya pashyati, sa pashyati. He who sees this fact, he sees what life is about. One who sees this, he sees. Others are all struggling in ignorance. Others are all struggling in ignorance. Yeah, this is what is to be known. Samam pashyanniha sarvatra samam avastitam ishwaram na hinasti atmana atmanam tato yati param gatim. Samam pashyan iha sarvatram. Seeing that which is the same in everything right here. Samam, what is that? Samam avastitam Ishwaram. That Ishvara. Because Ishvara is also nothing but consciousness. What Ishvara is seen, we have seen elaborately. Material, efficient cause, all that. But apart from all that, what is the truth of Ishvara? Consciousness alone. So once you see that, that's real Ishvara Darshanam. Ishvara Darshanam is Atma Rupataha. You recognize Ishvara in the form of the self. That is the real Darshanam. Any other Darshanam is Manasa Ikshanam, is a projection of the mind. Ramana said that. Okay. Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan Ramana said that. Any other perception is projection of the mind. Therefore, samam pashyaniha sarvatram, samam avastitam ishwaram. Then what happens? Na hinasti atmana atmanam. He does not destroy himself. Why? Why do you have to say that? Because others are destroying themselves. Others are all destroying themselves, really speaking. Okay? How do you say that? There's a very nice this thing in Tamil, you know. Tamil is not my mother tongue, but since it was my teacher's mother tongue, I picked up a little bit of it. Okay. It says, Nandavanatulu Randi. In the Nandavanam, in the garden of the Lord, there is an Andi. An Andi is a beggar, sadhu beggar, whatever you want to call him. Avan Nalaru Masamai Koravanai Tandi. He prayed to the potter for 6 and 4 months. Konduvandanuru Tondi. And he got a pot. What is that pot? This is the pot. And as we grow older, we become more like pots. Okay. At least Below the chest, we start looking more like pots. Kundu vandanuru tondi. All right, then what did he do? Kutadi, odchadantandi. He played ducks and drakes with it and broke the pot. That's all he did. That's exactly what you are doing now. What are we doing? Why are you born on the earth? That purpose gone. You are born, actually speaking, only to gain moksha. Because only on earth you can gain it. Because freedom of choice is only here. Therefore, that is your primary dharma. Everything else, or living a life of dharma, etc., etc., we all teach. We run courses also on dharma. We do all that. What is it meant for? That is secondary dharma, to live a life so that you can take care of the primary dharma of knowing yourself. Otherwise, hinasti atmana atmanam. You are destroying yourself by yourself. Balastavat kridasaktaha. As a child, you are lost in play. I think there is one this character's bhajan also on it. Balastavat kridasakta, tarunastavat taruni saktaha. When I was a young man, I was lost in all the pretty young girls that were there. In childhood went in play, youth went in chasing them. Vriddhastavat chinta saktaha. When I am old, all worries and anxieties, what will happen to my child, what will happen to my grandchild, this, that, etc. I made this nice flat for him, will he be even interested in maintaining it? All such thoughts will come, chinta. Parame brahmani kopina saktaha. In Param Brahman, that is the reality that you have to know. Kopina saktaha. Nobody bothers about it. What is that one verse? Shravani, it goes like, Bachpana khel gavayo re. Aaye budhapa rog satave. Govinda na gaye. Janma gavaye tune bhavare. I can't sing for nuts, okay? I should not even be attempting with Shravani there. Anup Jalota, I think. Yeah, I think it's Anup Jalota. Govinda na gayo janma satayo tune bhavare. Same thing. What are we doing? Hinasti atmana atmanam. Destroying ourselves, our lives. Primary dharma that every one of us has. I am happy if people in their 40s start going towards it. Pehla 40 years gone. After that, they start moving into all these things. I am happy. Okay. Some move earlier. That is good. That's good. Yeah. Asti atmana atmanam. Tataha yati param gatim. Then if you know this, param gatim yati. He is putting in the language of gati. Because all of us are interested in a good gati. Sadgati. We all want sadgati after death. This is absolute gati. What is the absolute gati? Where there is no gati. There is no travel. Why? You remain as a limitless consciousness. Where? Everywhere. When? Every time. Neither born nor dying. You are the consciousness and all these games happen. You can watch the games. Yeah. So that tataha yati param gatim. Therefore, some nuances he is presenting about this knowledge, okay? When you are on the track, just to keep track of things. Prakriti cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashah ya pashyati tatha atmanam akartaram sapashyati. Swamiji, what about all the things that I have to do? Karma. You do nothing. Prakriti cha karmani kriyamanani. How do you do an action? Desired by the heart. You desire. You decide by your head, na? Hopefully. and with the body you act. Where does you, the consciousness, come into the picture? Where does you, the consciousness, come into the picture? The heart desires. Heart wants what it wants. And if you are a pragmatic person, you will think how to get it. And you will act. Not wait for some Santa Claus to give it to you. You act. And you, the consciousness, what are you? Body, mind, etc. Pure Prakriti only. It's all called Prakriti. Maya Shakti. And you, the consciousness, akartaram, you do nothing. Therefore, what about karma, karma phala? Not for you. Not for you. Where do you have karma, karma phala? Swamiji, my Sade Sati is on. You don't know what all I have to go through. Your heart desired certain things. Your mind decided on certain things. Your body did. Therefore, they are receiving karma, karma phala. They did the karma, they are receiving the karma phala. Where are you, consciousness, involved in it? You are involved because you say, it is me. That false identification. False identification. It's only a dress that you are wearing. Are you really bothered about the karma your dress undergoes? Then you will be very terrified. Just imagine putting your clothes into the washing machine. What karma it has to undergo? उसका पाप धोने का है ना? Thank God, nobody is that identified. My body, mind, etc. is a dress. But I take it as me. Don't be foolish, okay? Because I said this, tomorrow onwards I am not going to take care of the body and mind. Please, don't make it our problem. Okay. You take care of your body and mind exactly like how you will take care of a dress. A good dress that you like. Yeah. Yeah. Therefore, as you are concerned, ya pashyati tatha atmanam akartaram sa pashyati, who sees oneself as free from all karma, karma phala, akartaram, that person knows the truth, he says. But it is only, look at it, each verse is giving you a certain nuance of it. You have to look at the whole thing in its totality. Okay? Whole thing in its totality. Okay? That's why I am going 2-3 verses, not stopping to elaborate too much, because the whole thing has to be taken as one. Only then it works. Okay, now he is giving you that bigger picture. Yada bhuta pratak bhavam ekastam anupashyati tata evacha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. Yada bhuta pratak bhavam, all these creatures, all these entities, each distinct from the other. Living, non-living, everything, each distinct from the other. Okay. All of them. Ekastam anupashyati. All that is rooted in one consciousness alone. A million waves, one ocean. A million waves, one ocean. So some waves are very aggressive, some are very timid, some are big, some are small. Some swallow up all the others. Some are the ones that are swallowed. All that. Therefore, ekastam anupashyati. From one it has come. Vistaraha. Vistaraha. Tata evacha vistaram. It's all resolved into one, it all manifests from the one. And that one is what? Me, the consciousness. Only that completes it. That one is me, the consciousness. Such a person, he says, Brahma sampadyate tada. He is one with Brahman. He was always one with Brahman but not recognized. Now recognized. What keeps us separate is our ignorance about the reality. What keeps us with the feeling of separateness, etc., is our ignorance about what the real is. Once you understand the real, where is the difference? Experiential differences are there. Functional differences are there. But there is no real difference. See, you have to remember, Vedanta is always dealing with two different degrees of reality. One is absolute, what you are, which is available for knowing, and that's it. Now, with that knowledge, you deal with the functional differences. Functional differences have to be taken and taken out and dealt with. And if you don't take into account functional differences, you are foolish. After all, he and I are one and the same, na? He is a dacoit, but I have to treat him with love, na? He is a terrorist, worse. Yes, treat him with love in your heart. And functionally, shoot him down. Exactly. Functionally shoot him down. Lovingly, very lovingly do it. Without hatred in your heart. Why should there be hatred? One body. Yes. You have an abscess in your hand. What will you do with it? Will you drain it? Or you will say, no, I love this also. After all, it is my body. And we are learned about self-love, etc. Therefore, I should love the abscess also. Will you do that? If you do that, you are a world's biggest idiot. There is nothing about self-love there. There is some idiocy there. Yeah. What has to be done functionally has to be done functionally. Yeah. But Swamiji, ahimsa paramo dharma. Correct. Everyone quotes this. I get fed up of hearing that quote because it's only half a quote. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Dharmo himsa tataivacha. That completes the quote. Ahimsa paramo dharma, correct? And for the sake of dharma, himsa should also be considered as equally valid. Tathaivacha. Paramo dharma. There's a great man in this country who didn't understand that. He actually had the idiocy to advise the British government at that time during World War II, don't resist the Nazis, have ahimsa against them. And what were the poor Jews doing? When they were led to the gas chambers, they were fighting over innocent women and children. They were led to the gas chambers. Ahimsa worked. Idiotic. Ask the Kashmiri Pandits, ahimsa towards the terrorists. Does it work? It didn't work. The same guy said during the Mapla riots in Kerala also. Hindus should not resist. They are doing their, Maplas are doing their dharma. And your dharma is to die or what? What type of logic is this? Mujhe maar. This is over, taking a finite value and making it absolute. The Hindus are the worst in this. You got to know. Buddhists are next. 1950, Chinese army walked into Tibet. They could do nothing. 100 years before that, in 1850, the Chinese army had attacked Tibet and the Tibetans threw them out. But then 100 years of ahimsa, 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 ahimsa. The Dalai Lama himself said, we have been praying too much and doing nothing. Yeah. Therefore, don't confuse the 2 degrees of reality. One is the absolute level which you have to know and identify with, this is you. The other is functioning. There is mithya, things will happen, turmoil will happen, everything will happen. But you will be at peace. You will be the calm center in the storm of all activities. Activities may be problematic sometimes. That's okay. That's okay if activities are problematic. You are the calm center, no? You are Ananda, going through miserable experiences. As long as you are Ananda, what is the problem? Let the experiences be miserable. You are Ananda, all right. Yeah, you are Ananda. Therefore, to center on that and deal with the world in the best manner you can. Everyone cannot do everything. I accept that. Everyone cannot do everything. But do whatever you can. There dharma, etc. comes into the picture. Therefore, dharma is at the functioning world and knowledge is beyond that. It is understanding what you really are. Both are necessary in your life. One for your individual moksha, the other for the society. Society, function, etc. The apparent duality is acknowledged as apparent. No wise person takes it as real. Even though he may be doing a lot for that society, he doesn't take it as real. He knows it is not real. Swamiji, why does he do all that? Because he can. A mountaineer was asked, why do you climb mountains? Because it is there. What else? Swamiji, you think you will change the world? The world changes by itself. You don't change the world. You contribute to what you can. That is it. World goes on. Rama, Krishna, all of them came. No? World still going on. They impacted and took care of whatever has to be done at that time. That's it. So we in our individual levels do what we can at that time. Every one of us is a product of our times, and every one of us is also a creator of our times. Focus on both. We'll live a great life. With the knowledge, aham akartaram. I do a lot, I do nothing. I do a lot, I do nothing. Like somebody asked me, Swamiji, you got this land for the ashram, etc. You don't seem excited. I said, I know exactly what I'm in for. My samsara is going to start. Up to now I was a free bird. It's okay, we do what we can. Why? Parampara has to move forward now. Parampara has to move forward, so we do what we can. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So he is emphasizing this idea also in the next couple of verses. He is emphasizing the same idea. Okay. Anaditvad nirgunatvad paramatma ayam avyayah sharirastopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Anaditvad, since it's beginningless, timeless, anaditvad. Nirgunatvad, itself does not have any gunas, free from all gunas, but appears to take on the gunas of everything. Appears, nirgunatvad. Paramatma ayam avyayah, the Paramatma, avyayah, non-changing, not conditioned by time and space. Sharirastopi kaunteya, hey kaunteya, Kunti putra, sharirastaha api. Even though it is there in this shariraha, na karoti na lipyate. It does not do a thing, it is not touched by anything. How can you be like that? I am so hurt by what he has done. What hurt? Of course you are hurt. I will empathize. Which you? Mind. Which you? The mind and body can be hurt. You, the consciousness? Who's there to hurt you? Can you see two different levels of functioning itself? At one level there is hurt, pain, guilt, etc. has to be taken care of. The other level, you have to see yourself as being free from the whole thing. Na karoti, na lipyate. That is final freedom from what hurt, pain, guilt, etc. This is the final freedom. Otherwise, it's only managing your hurt, pain, guilt. You can't be in a relationship for a couple of years without some hurt and guilt. No? I'm not talking about a lifetime, I'm just talking of a couple of years. 20, 30 years to definite. Even a couple of years. There will be hurt, there will be pain, there will be guilt. Yeah. So you manage them, you tackle them, you talk it over. If the guy is available to talk over. All that is important. Or you talk through a third party. All that you do, you take care of. Your final freedom is about in knowing this. Then you can say, Reva de. Koi farak nahi. You're free, okay. Yeah. Na karoti, na lipyate. To understand that. In the second chapter, he had presented as na hanyate, na hantihi. He does not kill, nor is he the killer. He is not the killer, nor is he the killed. Second chapter, bhul nahi jane ka hai. I know, some 3 years back we had done it. Okay. We are coming towards the end of the Gita, okay? Yeah. Na karoti, na lipyate. Then for this, na lipyate, etc. is giving you an example for it, okay? Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyad akasham na upalipyate sarvatra avasito dehe tata atma na lipyate. Na upalipyate, okay? No, upalipyate. It says yatha sarvagatam akasham. Akasha, which is all pervading. Saukshmyad, because it is very subtle. Na upalipyate is not contaminated. Samji, but we are now talking about space pollution. We are using the term space pollution, but space cannot be polluted. What we are saying is the environment which is around the earth is polluted with a lot of debris. Why everybody keeps sending rockets up and nobody is reclaiming anything. Nobody is destroying anything. It's all hanging around there. Like satellites. So space pollution. Where is space? Space accommodates everything. You can talk of environmental pollution. You can talk about polluted water, polluted air. But space accommodates everything. The very definition of space in Sanskrit is like that. Avakasha pradatra, that which accommodates everything is called space. Therefore, it's a different degree of reality by itself. It is not like your table and chair. It goes in and through the table and chair. Therefore, na upalipyate cannot be contaminated. Therefore, sarva avastito dehe, your deha can be contaminated. The virus can come in. Pollution can come in. Our lungs are supposed to be pink in color, okay? But if you examine your lungs right now, no one will be having pink lungs. It will all be discolored into some grey because of all 20, 30, 40 years of breathing in all the pollution. So you can talk about pollution. Sarva avastito dehi. But Atma na upalipyate. A different degree of reality itself, therefore, cannot be contaminated by anything. Cannot be contaminated. That's like saying the wave is making the water wet. ये किधर से बात आया है? How can the wave make the water wet. The wave is heavy on the water. The wave can be heavy for a ship or a boat, can crush it. But what about the water? The wave is nothing but water. I am not talking about this wave, okay? Yeah. No upalipyate. Okay. Okay. So all this is just, he's giving one facet in each verse. All this is summary of all that he has done up to now. Just summarizing. यथा प्रकाशयति एकः कृष्णं लोकममं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृष्णं प्रकाशयति भारत. यथा एकं रविः, एकं रविः, one ravi, one surya, one sun, prakashati krishnam lokam, lights up this entire world. One sun lights up the entire world. Kshetram kshetri tatha krishnam prakashayati bharata. Hey Bharata, similarly, the kshetri, the one who is manifest in the kshetra, the kshetrajna in short, kshetri, the kshetrajna is called as kshetri now, the one who is there in the kshetra. Lights up the whole kshetra. It illumines the whole kshetra. Because how can you say your body is there? You don't have a body. Where is your body? How do you say your body is there? Of course it is there. I know, I see it. Your body depends upon your objectification. Your mind depends upon your objectification. Your emotions depend upon your objectification. Your knowledge depends upon your objectification. Your ignorance depends upon your objectification. And you depend upon what? I know I am. How? Did you see? Did you infer? Not necessary. Because before all that inference, etc., can be used, I have to be there. Exactly. Swata Siddham. Therefore, like the sun doesn't require another light, your existence doesn't have to be proved by any other pramana. Then why are we studying the Gita? To know what you are. What is that I? To study you are, you don't need the Gita. You are there, you know that you are there. What are you? Who are you? For that you need the Gita. Therefore, that one, like the one sun lights up everything, one Kshetrajnaha, the Kshetri, lights up everything, he says. Because the whole world you light up, because without you knowing, nothing can be there. Even science accepts that. I am not justifying this with science. I am just saying even science has to accept that. Science doesn't accept everything written here anyway. Why? There is no world without an observer. There is no event without an observer. Because how do you say something has happened without somebody seeing it? Objectification necessary. Okay. Kshetra kshetrajnayor evam antaram jnana chakshushaha bhuta prakritim moksham cha ye viduhu yanti te param. Therefore, in conclusion, he says, Kshetra kshetrajnayor evam. In this manner, who knows the difference, antaram, the difference between the kshetra and the kshetrajnaha, that the kshetrajna is independent of the kshetra is dependent on the kshetrajnaha. That's how the whole thing goes. The content is independent, the manifestation is dependent on the content. One who knows that, jnana chakshusha. How do you know that? By the eye of knowledge. Swamiji, third eye, it has to open up. You can try and open up your third eye. Third eye is anyway not going to be physically opened up. Thank God. Imagine if it physically opens up, trying karke one eye comes up here. Now whether it's going to come up vertical or going to come up like this, horizontal. वो भी डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा पहला ना, opening up third eye. How will it be, like this or like this? Logically it should be like this, no? Because the other two are like that, they should be in harmony. But this is Jnana Chakshudaya, why should be vertical? All the women will have a problem. Those who want to put a bindi will not be able to put a bindi. Why? Because how can you put a bindi on top of your eye? And those who don't want to have a bindi, they also will have a problem because natural bindi is there. Because we are modern secular people, you don't want all that science of religion, etc. on us. ठीक है, मत करो, but automatically. Anyway, that apart, we are not talking about your third eye. Jnanameva chakshuhu, jnana chakshuhu. Knowledge itself is the eye. Because your physical eyes can see only what the mind knows. I have given this example before. We are all sitting in a class, a young girl walks in. I look at the girl and says, oh, what a fair girl. Another doctor sitting in the group, the doctor is missing in the class today. The doctor looking at the same girl says, what an anemic girl. Both of us are seeing the same fair skin. But the doctor, because of the knowledge inside, is seeing something more. Jnanameva chakshuhu, jnana chakshuhu. Therefore, the wise and the ignorant both see the same world. The wise see it as a manifestation of consciousness. The ignorant sees different things. They are also vast. World is so vast, I am so small. Pahimam, trahimam, all that business comes up. Oh Lord, save me. And the Lord is thinking, yaar, kya ye baat kar raha hai? Bakwas. There are people there who will teach, who will make you free. Go, learn. Oh no, Lord, pahimam, trahimam. ठीक है, रेवा दे. All right, it's all fine. Okay. Therefore, jnana chakshuha. Bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduhu. They know what is manifestation, what is prakriti. They know what is moksha from prakriti. Te viduhu. One who knows that very clearly. What is existence? What is prakriti? What is the purusha in reality? Te yanti param gatim. They are the people who gain that moksha. They may be living in the same world, suffering from the same issues that you and I suffer from, objectively looking at it. But you're free. You're free. The freedom is within you. To recognize that. A discovery of Ananda is your freedom. Any other freedom is temporary. Can be free today, bound tomorrow, isn't it? Can be free today, but bound tomorrow. Yeah. Or bound today, free tomorrow. I was bound by all my debts. I've cleared all of them. All home loans, etc. paid off. I'm free. Yeah. Then you'll take another loan and become bound again. ये तो होते जाते हैं. This is the game of life. One who is free inside is free. That person is free. Okay, that yanti param te viduhu yete yanti param gatim mokshakhyam. See, it's put as gati, etc. as I said before, because we are looking at the whole idea of after death as gati, etc. Therefore, he puts it in the same language. There is no real gati. You are remaining as one consciousness alone. Okay. So, iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Upanishadsu, Brahmavidyayam, Yoga Shastra, as usual, which has got both Brahmavidya and Yoga Shastra. Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvadi, in the form of a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogo Nama, named as Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Namaha, Trayodasha Adhyaya. 13th chapter comes to an end. After this, the Gita is very simple. After this, Gita is very, very simple. थोड़ा इधर उधर एक दो बात है, but otherwise very simple. It's all about fine tuning after this. It's all about fine tuning. Okay. So next class, go over the 13th chapter. Come back with any doubts you may have. Okay. Go back, look at the verses. See, you may, if you really understood it well, doubts are natural. Okay, doubts are natural. So come back, ask whatever doubts you may have, etc. And after the handling that, we'll handle the 14th chapter. We'll start the 14th chapter, which is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the three gunas. Because people keep always asking that Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, this, that, lot of stuff people have in their बहुत भूसा भर गया है about Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Too much of nonsense is there in people's mind. Sattvic food, Sattvic this, everything. Okay, forgetting it's just a paradigm. But we will see that. We will see that. Especially our South Indian community. Onion and garlic are rajasic. We should not have that. They are tamasic, etc. कहाँ से आया पता नहीं. वो गीता में बोला है. We will see. गीता में बोला है क्या नहीं देखेगा. Okay. I spoke like this and one person left the class, which I am fine with. Okay. He couldn't handle. Because I was speaking like this on Vaikuntha Ekadashi day on top of everything else. So on Vaikuntha Ekadashi day, I will reaffirm Krishna's message. Yeah, not your orthodoxy. I will reaffirm Krishna's message with all that I am capable of. Yeah, but we will see. देखा जाएगा आराम से. You will see. Next few chapters we will see all this fine tuning the mind so that you can live in this knowledge. So it's simple but important. Is everything applicable to everyone? No. Now here is where your self-awareness has to come into play. Pick and choose what is applicable for you and fine-tune it. Okay. We will see that next class onwards. Good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.